So this man buys a coffee table, right? And him and his wife don't agree on this coffee table whatsoever. They have a newborn baby. Coffee table's missing a screw.
Can we say one thing real quick?
Please.
If you have a child, don't buy a coffee table with a glass top, period.
Hello, this is Nick with Additional Crew. You may notice during this podcast that we occasionally mention that we will be interviewing the director Caye Casas of the film. Unfortunately, this did not take place due to email server errors, schedule errors, other miscellaneous stuff. It'll be your favorite podcast to have, a coffee or aperitif with your loved ones. And I guarantee that this podcast, due to its design and standard, will change your life for the better. It will fill your home with happiness. Welcome to Additional Crew, the spoiler-heavy review show where we choose whatever random film we want to talk about. This episode we bring to you, Jesus and Maria are a couple going through a difficult time in their relationship. Nevertheless, they have just become parents. To shape their new life, they decide to buy a new coffee table, a decision that will change their existence. I am speaking of Caye Casas' anxiety-inducing horror flick, La Mesita Del Comedor, or The Coffee Table from 2022. This is a movie that I first heard of from a glowing praise from Stephen King. So, you hear that and you're like, oh, there's got to be something good in here.
I got hit by a van once.
It's true. He wrote about it in a book, The Dark
That's just a fact.
Did it live up to its reputation? Before we get into that, which we will shortly, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Nick, and with me we have our co-captain Adam. So what's up, Adam? It's been a minute. You are a media collector.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's jump into this. Let's just jump into this. Like, what's your favorite thing that you've picked up since the last podcast?
This lady was emptying out like an office thing that she was using as storage, and she had 3, I don't know, there's probably 100 tapes total, pre-recorded television. And so I've been going through those. A lot of Judge shows, a lot of Judge Judy, a lot of Judge Mathis, a lot of Inside Edition, things like that. There is some good stuff on there, though. I found some cartoons. There's
that must have been like
Turtles.
Pre-Mark McGrath Inside Edition, right?
The tapes I found so far, and probably 20% through them, go from 98 to 2005. So in that 7-year stretch. Something that happened during that 7-year stretch, and something that was strange and fortuitous, your lovely partner asked me if I had any 9/11 footage in there. And I was like, man, I don't know, but like the timeline's right. And then I put this tape in, all the labels just said like 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever the tape length was. And so I just thought they were all whatever. So I was just popping them in, and I put it up on the Instagram, but I had like 3 machines running at once, fast forwarding through tapes just to find stuff. That's what I do because I'm an addict for this shit. But anyways, I didn't look at this one, and then I pop this bad boy in, and you can't see it because the light's all messed up, but it says New York Towers. And so we all know what that is.
Man, straight up.
So that video starts right as the second tower is falling and goes for about 6 hours of just live news coverage. So it's pretty cool. I watched that, and then I watched this movie, and I got real sad.
Not a great combo. Oh my gosh.
Real sad. I need to watch more Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That was making me happy, and now I'm sad.
Like Adam,
but
you need a mood cleanser.
You find stuff like that, and it's Eugene local. KMTR 16 was the channel back then. I think that's still around. NBC. Anyways, so it's all local commercials and stuff, and like, I believe that's the channel I actually watched it on live. So it's interesting to have. It's one of those things that's like probably important, put up on Internet Archive or something. And that's why I look through all this stuff, is for anything that's culturally significant or stuff like lost media kind of stuff. I like to hunt that. So I pick up pre-records wherever I can get them. The fun thing about this set of them is the age of the blank tapes. Some of I love looking at old boxes. Hold on just a second. Let me grab Polaroid here. And but when you're looking at them, you can kind of get a gauge if you know like what age tapes are. And so this has tapes as late as 2002 blanks,
Okay.
and then all the way back to 85 blanks.
Okay.
So who knows what I'm gonna find? It seems like they've recorded over the tapes a bunch though, which people used to do. They used to just, I can't miss my judge shows, and so they'd put them on auto record before they go to work and just use the same tape. But I've ran into a lot of that, but it's not all that. So it's like a treasure hunt, you know. Love it.
Yeah.
So that's what I got. I got that, and then I got 2 new VCRs. One's a really nice Sony, and it's still in the box, all sealed up, and like, so I'm just gonna leave that in there.
It's pretty cool.
And then I got a little JVC unit that's got an S video and stuff, so it's real nice.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck
That's what I got this week. I got a chore.
But it's one of those chores. It's
if I didn't do it, they would be in the trash. And worst case scenario, I delete all the judge shows and I just record fun stuff over it. I've been known to put labels on things and like put new cartoons, places, and donation bins and stuff, you know, just as Easter eggs for people in the world. And so blanks are good for that, you know.
Heck yeah. I mean, that's a lot of fun either which way. The 9/11 footage was pretty wild. If you haven't seen it on the Instagram, check out at VHS Goblin. It's just wild. It's not, you know, it's not pleasant. It's wild.
I actually took that post down.
Did you?
I was just like, you know what? Like, if they had a thing where I could put like trigger warning and like you could push and like the gray screen would go away, but it's like the beginning of that tape is just the plane destroying the building, like right off rip. And I'm just like, that's my natural reaction because you were watching it with me when I did it. And I'm just like, fuck, you know, and like I went back and watched it and I'm like, you know what? That's just not my vibe. Like, you know, like I'm not a ambulance chaser. I'm not a tragedy junkie. So it's just not really, it's culturally significant and it's awesome and it's important. And I get why people are fascinated with it, but with the way of the world right now, I just need a little happiness. So I'll keep digging through the tapes. I don't care about judge shows. I do have a guy in the world that like really I'm on Reddit on VHS and what judge shows you got? And so there's like specific ones that are lost media that I look for them when I go through stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna throw one out here. There's a Judge Judy episode involving a young like 11, 12-year-old kid who is suing a karate instructor for not giving him the belt color despite earning it. And if you see that, please save it. I know the person. I know that 11, 12-year-old kid. I would be jazzed to see it. That would be one of the funniest things.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
It's
one of those things. Invite fun things like that into the universe. Don't invite tragedy into the universe.
We get to talk about some fun things. Well, I'll show you my favorite pick of the week, and this is relevant for one specific reason. So I got this movie, Wake and Fright, right? So Wake and Fright is an Australian, like they call them Ozploitation films. So it's like 70s horror movie.
Yeah,
I'm showing off this particular one this time. I haven't watched it, so I don't know how good it is. This is similar to this. I like to pick up movies and then I'll watch them. You know, we'll see what's up. But this one is we're doing this on February 2nd. That is the anniversary of Donald Pleasance's death, and he is in this film. So rest in peace, Donald Pleasance. I love that guy. This is one of his earlier, well, not earlier, but different films. Like he didn't do a ton of horror until Halloween hit, and then he was all about it. It's the Umbrella release, but it doesn't have any like the posters or any of that fancy stuff. It's just the movie and a bunch of special features, which is A-okay with me.
Wow, that's sick.
Yeah, so check that one out eventually. We've got a pretty loaded docket right now for movies. Otherwise, I'd say maybe that one's coming up soon. I don't know what's coming up soon. The universe will tell us what's coming up soon at this moment. But let's talk about the coffee table. And it is a 2022 film.
I like the gold one with the ladies on it.
Yes.
It matches my mud flaps.
It's okay, so I think there's like Okay, well, we just got to get past the elephant in the room, I guess. So this man buys a coffee table, right? And him and his wife don't agree on this coffee table whatsoever. They have a newborn baby. Coffee table's missing a screw. He decides, hey, I'm still going to go show this baby this coffee table because it's.
Can we say one thing real quick?
Please.
If you have a child, don't buy a coffee table with a glass top, period. It's not even a question. It's not something you own in your home. Sharp corners are a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring glass into the situation. Like, ridiculous. But it would have never been an issue in my house.
No. And I mean, so we'll talk more about, because there are parts of this that are like, there are reasons for everything, right, that you see here. Like,
no.
Because I agree with you, but we do have, okay, anyway. He shows the baby the coffee table, and somehow, in some way, the baby's head ends up being severed from its body because of the coffee table breaking.
No, it's guillotined. Like straight glass guillotined, and the head rolls away. Like a soccer ball. And then the baby sprays blood everywhere.
Now, was that in the version you watched? Because the version I watched kept
100%,
it in the hallway.
Yeah.
They didn't show the baby dying.
They showed the splatter.
They showed the splatter for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure you didn't have one that actually was like showing the effects. So like, oh man.
You know me. I get the snuff versions of things.
I was like, that would be.
I was really traumatized while it was happening, so I may have like put something in there. Like, but
I think like one of the kindnesses this film did was keeping us in that hallway for that second, because I was
kindness. Yeah.
I know, but I was so sure they were gonna show it, and I was
I just had a PTSD moment. That's right. We're standing in the hallway during like the They're
playing the soft music that
I'm a victim right now, so some of these things are a little
man, yeah. So, anyways, this guy, he goes on trying to hide the fact that the baby's dead from his wife, and then his brother, and then his brother's.
Don't even think he's hiding it, though. I think he's having a complete existential fucking crisis, and is just coping, right? Like, does not because he wants. Yeah. Anyways, like, I don't think he's trying. Like, obviously, he's actively hiding it, but like, I don't think that's the intention, right? He's trying to figure out fight or flight, right? He's a complete fight or flight, and he's in flight mode. Just like, what the fuck do you do?
He's trying to figure out what version of getting out of the situation he's going to take, right? Because there are very few versions of getting out of the situation, and most of them, let's not even say most of them, every single one of them is a bad version, because the situation is just screwed up. It's the most screwed up situation you could possibly put yourself in, right? Like, there's nothing that could be worse than this.
I love how they just, it's taken them 2 years of fucking work to have this baby because they're older, and they finally get their miracle child, and then they just cut his head up. Cool movie. Baby blood everywhere.
So
the fact is I like this movie's good. That's the problem. It's like it's good. But boy, is it visceral.
It's something, because I think that what this movie thrives on, and what the story is basically set around, besides the baby death, which is not a good thing to put aside, but we're going to put aside, is that the viewer is watching people who are having just a day that don't know that the worst thing ever has happened to them. We know
as a parent ever.
Yes. Exactly. We know about the main actor. We know that he knows, and we're watching him have a full-on anxiety, panic, existential crisis, as you said. But everyone else is almost just as hard to watch, because they're all around it, and they're all talking about it, and they're all showing how excited they are about things for the future. And you, as a viewer, now you know that future doesn't exist, right? You're watching like their hopes and their dreams build up, and
you get the secondhand embarrassment, right? You're like, just tell him to quit lying, just spit it out, get it out, and then jump, you know? But just like, be done with this, quit torturing yourself. Like, you ain't getting, like, this isn't gonna pass.
No.
Baby ain't gonna grow its head back.
No. So we get to see just different scenarios happening.
Would have been a lot more fun if it had. It's like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit moment, and just a cartoon head pops out.
It was interesting to me because there were a couple moments in this movie where I think it actually had the opportunity to jump into this like completely surreal and strange. And it was every time that he was looking at the baby monitor and he started hearing noises that weren't there. Like he's just having a complete mental breakdown. Like he's hallucinating. Well, no one who's watching this movie at this moment is blaming him or thinking that that's a wrong
IRL, I
reaction.
have panic disorder, and I will tell you that this movie was triggering for that because they did such a good job of showing what
really,
the
yeah.
thought process is of just panic, fight or flight, just trying to hide from a situation and hope that it goes away, right? It's like a bear clawing at your tent or something. Like you just lay there quietly and hope it stops and like everything's fine, everything's okay, you know, like what else do you do? Your brain can't deal with that level of messed upness. It just can't. It's like our brains go into shock and then they just do that.
Exactly. And I think that they really needed to nail that part because without nailing that part, the character Jesus Jesus is an awful character. But if you nail that part and you really get your viewers into the empathic mode of like, okay, this is a natural reaction that may happen here.
I'm a socialist hippie, so I'm already an empath. I felt for this guy so bad.
Oh man.
It wasn't his fault. It was a mistake, and it was a crappy Swedish coffee table that fell apart. Like shit happens.
But my God, could it have been?
The guy's not a murderer.
And it's framed with this whole entire like it's a marriage that feels like a competition between the two of them. They're always just trying to prove that
Super loving marriage, though. You know,
they're so mean to each other, man. They're so mean to each other.
I mean,
like because
I spent a little time in Spain. I want to tell you, people, like this is not a broad generalization. It's just a little feisty. You know, that's how they tell you they love you.
One thing I will say,
I have a couple of great friends that we made in Spain that we're still friends with. And there's, the husband is Norwegian and Christina is from Barcelona, and they'll fucking tell you exactly what they're feeling.
and they did over and over again. This coffee table being such a
I thought those scenes were cute, honestly.
Okay.
I did. I didn't feel like. Because me and Deb were like not that mean, not that fiery, but like, it's just how you talk to somebody that you're unlimitedly comfortable with, right? Like it's just, you're not going to hurt that person's feelings, right? Like
I feel like
she's fiery though. She's feisty.
Yeah, no, and they just for me it was just the fact that they didn't seem to have like really any points where they were getting along together in like a sort of general way, like except for maybe at the dinner table when literally Jesus just wasn't there because he was thinking about something else. So that was the one moment where it looked like they were really in it.
I think after she got out of the apartment and away from like the argument and the coffee table and she was calling him at home, she was calling him very sweetly and almost apologetically, it felt like to me. I did just I mean
I can see it both ways. I can. I think that
I just didn't feel like there was a lot of anger in that relationship. I just felt like it was too. See, you and I, it's different. We totally love our wives and adore our lives and are happy and tell our wives how much we love them all the time and like hug them and kiss them and things, and it's like completely natural. And like most people, Nick, don't do
that. I can't comment on most people. That's the thing. I don't know these people. I watch it. I'm like, man, they're just mad at each other. But that could be it because
they loved each other so much and they had that little baby together and they were so happy.
For me, it felt like everything was wrapped in a competition, right? And this is what like kind of made it impossible. Like it provoked this flight response more than anything. Is the fact that he was like, no matter what I do, I can't get sympathy for this being an accident. Like, and like this was 100% an accident, but I can't.
Right.
They'll never listen to this. That's not what's going to happen. If I admit that this happened, I will be destroyed by everyone around me. Which you could take
valid in a way,
yeah.
But like, it's just that fear response, right? It's just
so we're walked through a scene. A lot of different scenes, really. We're walked through a series of scenes that just keep kind of escalating the level of
anxiety
and tragedy and sadness of it all, I think we see the brothers show up, right? And of course, the brother can read Jesus. He knows him. They do this really well because they don't just make him completely like oblivious to the fact that his brother's acting weird. I think that I really appreciate the fact that throughout, Carlos, the brother, is like, "Hey, you're being a dick. Like, chill out. Talk
Yeah,
to
the
me."
brother seemed really relatable.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm looking at you here, man. You're drinking a bunch. You ain't saying nothing. What the hell? And even when like Jesus completely insults him and his pregnant wife to be
Right.
girlfriend, he still goes, okay, that's my brother. Let me go talk to him. I know him. He does weird shit like this, and then we get back together. It's fine. But you're watching all this, and you know as the viewer that the baby's dead.
There's just baby juice dripping on the floor out of the bottom of the crib.
It's the worst. And the scene where they go into the baby's room, and it is so painstakingly crafted, and it is so looks like a parent who was so excited and showed so much love.
Oh
It just
my God.
hurt the heart so much.
With
like
all of his toys and stuff in there.
Yeah, and it was the toys that he wouldn't even let his brother see. He's giving them to his little kid. Like the sort of stuff.
Toys I gave my kid.
Yeah, exactly.
My toys from my childhood.
That's the thing, is it hurts so much as a dad because that's exactly it, right? It's the toys that I've managed to keep in my life for this long, and I'm going to give them to a kid who's definitely going to destroy them. It's the same thing. Yes, he's got the Ninja Turtle. It's a different headband, but it's the same line. It's got to be.
This one. Squishy head. You know what that means?
No, I don't, but...
First.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay, see, you learned
So they got hard heads after they put them out the first time because kids kept squishing the heads off of those.
This does make sense. Like, when they actually wanted you to keep things instead of buying new ones over and over again. I'm getting nostalgia for a time I didn't live in. So here we are. So then ultimately there's a subplot with the neighbor's daughter and her feeling that they are romantically linked, which is denied by the man, but there's questionable actions that he took place, even helping her with the book report or whatever it was, the school report. He was sending her things that
yeah, so she did a book report, right? Mm-hmm. She said she was doing a book report on love poetry, right? Amour poetry. And yeah, and so he texted her verses of love poetry to her phone, and I get that the movie's like, don't worry about it, it was completely innocent, but like gross anyways. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Don't text an 11-year-old if you're an adult male that isn't your own 11-year-old. Gross.
And it's a weird scene to me because there's only two valid reasons for including this that I can find, right? And the first is that you are making your viewers feel unsettled right at the beginning.
Sure did.
Like, because, yeah, 100%. Like, it was like, okay.
Well, then they brought her in the ultimate anxiety moment, and she was like making it all, like just made everything worse. So, like, great, good play.
Yeah,
like, great.
She brought the dog, right? And the dog was ultimately what like led to.
So I was talking to Deborah about that, dude, and I was like, she's like, well, how did they? And I was like, what would our dogs do if you let them loose in a room with a baby head under a chair? And she's like, they just go grab it. And I'm like, yep.
Yeah. There was never another answer there. It was never another answer there. It was gonna happen for sure. Also, everyone just ignoring the blood on the ground, like to the point that they did. Like I can understand. Like,
had to be 2 liters,
yeah,
right?
It's like, yeah, like, oh, you cut your
much,
hand a little bit, yeah.
Like hospital.
If you bled so much that like hours,
it was the entire
hours
contents of a baby.
Oh man, it was
They want to do a movie about it. This is how I'll talk about it.
No, and that's fair because this
very
is just calling it up
very technically.
Okay, so the story itself, I think, pretty bare bones, right? Like,
it was about a baby's full worth of blood on the carpet.
Well, except for whatever was in the crib still, because that seemed to be quite a bit.
It was juice.
It was just dripping through, which, again, it's just
at least
the story.
He changed his diaper with no head on.
The story, I don't think it was...
Baby pooped his pants when he died, so at least he changed the diaper.
That part...
I just twitched. I twitched saying it. It was so fucking upsetting.
That part made me so sad because as I watched it...
dignity, man. Dignity for your headless baby.
Dignity and just this, like, everything's normal. Everything's normal. Everything's going to be normal. I'm doing the thing I know how to do. You know what I mean? Like, he is like, we're making it go. We're making it okay. That's fine. Because he at that moment, it had just happened, right? And he's just standing there with the blood on him. He's like, what the hell? this salesperson who just told me that this glass was unbreakable.
When she starts laughing about unbreakable glass, ha ha ha. Oh my god, what a good laugh. And like, obviously I've got a bit of a smoker's voice. Her smoker's voice is so good. Like lunch lady level smoker. I love it.
What did I write here? I wrote this lady has the craziest smoker's laugh. I just wrote that line as one of my notes because it was great for this particular scene.
She was a character, man.
Oh my gosh, no joke. She's all up and down, and that laugh was
perfect.
Oh, it was perfect for
it
what
was
it needed.
Great. The fact for what it needed to be for the scene.
Mm-hmm, the fact that
I guess I should be clear up front. I don't like tragedies necessarily. It's not a movie I would go out of my way to watch. I'm sad enough. I'm anxious enough without it. But boy, I can't follow most of what happened in this movie as far as it comes to like filmmaking. That scene when she's laughing and the quick cuts and the zoom in, zoom outs and like, damn, dude, I was like, yeah, that's Panic Attack, awesome.
Oh my god, and the way she's like talking about, I wish I would have been there when it happened to see your face, and I'm just thinking like, no, you don't. Oh god, you don't. Oh no, and that like that thought where I just can't stop saying like, no. That's this whole movie. Is just you sitting there saying no, and it keeps saying, yeah, we're going.
I think this movie was a masterclass in doing what it was trying to do. I assume is what it was trying to do.
If it wasn't, oh boy. It's so the story in this one, I will say, other than that, like what did you really need from the story, right? You didn't need a ton of back building. It was the situation.
They call it a horror, and I keep seeing it called a horror, and I don't believe that I wouldn't call this a horror. Is it horrible? Sure. Is it a tragedy? Absolutely. But it's just a super unfortunate accident. Like it's not generally when I think of horror, though, I guess there's probably new genres of horror, but when I think of horror, I think of something near paranormal or very strange or like off-putting or like, but just not like, oops, an accident in the house and the baby died. Like, that's not really, it's terror, but like different, you said anxiety horror is a genre?
They call it psychological horror.
Well, see, not even that though, because psychological horror can still be like, I mean, I guess, yeah.
It's a weird one.
I was never really like scared during this movie though. I was just really upset, but not like mad. I just like was really sad for everyone and just felt bad.
Well, can I tell you just quickly that the top listed genre of this movie is dark comedy?
Why? Because the salesman was jovial?
There was two parts that I laughed at.
Things they slap comedy on nowadays, though. Deborah always looks for comedies, like a lighthearted comedy, and I'm like, listen, just put Grown Ups 2 on. You're not going to find anything out there. And she puts some comedy on, and some guy kills himself in the first 5 minutes, and it's just like, ooh, funny.
The salesperson being named Cayetano was a pretty good joke, because that was ridiculous. They're talking about how bad the name is, and then he goes, "That's my name and my grandfather's name and the name before him. That's my family name." And he's like, "Yeah, it's good for you, not this."
And
baby.
At the end, when the police say something about the crappy coffee table or whatever, ha, goodbye, have a nice night.
Which I guess we should talk about. The police at the end, I do want to just say they had too much exposition. We didn't need that much exposition. We just saw that whole movie. Don't make us listen to it again. Like,
I know they killed themselves. Yeah. I'm aware.
I would
have done it before my wife got home, but whatever. I'm a coward like that. Straight first out the window, brother. I'm gone. I wouldn't be able to handle it.
No, I had this question, right? So even as an empath, and even if you're like looking at this through the fight or flight, at what point, because there has to be a point, at what point should the shock have worn off?
I mean, I've had panic attacks that have lasted 4 or 5 hours. So from my point of view, not within like it could go that long in the frame of the movie from my personal experience, but stuff like that is just so tragic, and she was just in shock. I assume shock can. I mean, fuck. I don't
Yeah, I don't know either. That's the hard part.
know. I think when he started drinking, he started breaking out of it. Right,
Mm-hmm.
like that was probably what started to bring him down, but at the same time, screwing him up even worse. Right, but
His brother also showed up at the same time, so now you have the question of like, do I bring
with
my brother
his
into this? And of course,
18-year-old pregnant girlfriend, right?
and of course, the brother does get drawn into it, and probably the worst way you could draw your brother into something like that, to make him
At
basically an
least they were
accomplice.
vegan, so they didn't want to eat the baby.
Which we can thanks for the small favors, because if this was like one of those new wave French movies, it might have been like that. But when now I don't know about new wave Spanish movies. I assume that this is probably part of some movement that I don't know about.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It elicited a response, a very visceral response from me in a very real way. It's hard to do that. It
um,
is. It's hard to do that for me.
yeah.
I am so numb to tragedy.
Do you know anything about Spanish omelets? Because the story they told about the Spanish omelet was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's delicious.
And when they were talking about like how it was just this lady only had 3 ingredients, and she would invite everyone in though to eat because they were starving, and that's how they came up with the Spanish omelet. I love the story. I really wanted to know if it was true, but of course it's told by the one person who's not going to eat it. So
Yeah, man. I don't know. When I was over there, like we were talking about, I had great food. That is, the food they eat there is phenomenal. Lots of it, when you said Mediterranean, yeah, it's in that style, right? But like local stuff to Barcelona, like potatoes
mm-hmm.
bravas and croquettes and Iberico ham and things like so freaking good, dude. Everywhere I went, I ate so good.
Let me ask you this. This is going to be about the movie
Also, that
specifically.
park in the movie, I played with my kid there. I'm like 99.9% sure. That'll be one of my questions for him
What
because I
park is
know
that? Yeah.
exactly what. Well, it's the hospital at It's like a neighborhood in Barcelona,
Oh, see,
right?
that's
It's
sick.
over by where they play the soccer, Barcelona Stadium.
That's
Um, but I took my son there to play because I wanted to stay. When I went there, I didn't want to stay in the Gothic Quarter or anything like that with all the tourists. I wanted to stay in a neighborhood so I could go to little stores and stuff and just chill with the people. And so I went there, the little neighborhood. It was sweet. People there were super nice. I didn't speak a lick of
yeah.
Spanish, but I still
It,
ate, so I lived.
it works out well. It just kind of does. I have to imagine that's probably pretty true of a lot of places you could go. Like people are like, "Hey, you're hungry. We know what hungry is. Here's food."
I'd walk up to the case, the really sad puppy dog eyes, and like point at the chocolate croissant, and I'd be like, "One croissant," and they'd be like, mm.
Here you go.
And then I would just hold the money out in my hand, and they would take it.
It's funny to me because like the movie in this like whole entire the story in this whole entire movie is just like meant to make you feel those things. Like even the park shot with the kids that are older, right? It's only in there to let you know that they're never going to have older kids. That's the whole purpose of the shot, just to make you feel that like, oh, well, look, that's something they're never going to get to do.
And it was kind of like, is this guy about to unalive in front of a bunch of kids at a park?
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. That was a fun feeling to feel.
Yeah. And then of course the pregnant girlfriend was so mean. She's like, "Oh, they're going to be like brothers. It'll be great." Or they're going
It
to be
would have
so.
been really sweet. They probably would have had a great time.
After seeing the room, after seeing all of it, I was like, "Man, this is really rough." Because
You decapitated your baby with a coffee table. It
yeah,
was
yep,
an accident, but you did that.
yeah. But of course, it's the
His
coffee
head's under the
table.
chair.
That was if there was one particularly well done thing in the story, it was leaving the head under the chair
Would you
because
pick up baby head?
I don't. I
I
get
wouldn't have
where.
cleaned anything up. Once again, I would have jumped headfirst out of a window. But,
Yeah. The cleaning I can understand as a flight response. Like, okay, this will get me out of it for a second. I'm not saying that like a responsible or reasonable thing to do. I'm saying I understand how you're there. Picking up the baby head did make sense to me that they couldn't do it because that's when you have to look eye to eye with the face. You know what I mean? Like, and that is just a whole different thing. It's like that changes it. Yeah. Don't even you don't even want to get your head into that space, literally. So yeah. Let's move on to the acting.
Thank you.
Yep. So the acting we have, and I apologize, as I've said many times during this, because I keep choosing international films from our perspective. I'm an ignorant American trying to get more learned through art. I'm gonna pronounce some things wrong. I apologize if you hear me
I
out.
speak 5 languages.
And all 5 of them are variations on English. It stinks. I should have taken way more time figuring out other things. David Pareja as Jesus. Estefania de los Santos as Maria. Josep Maria Riera as Carlos. That is Jesus' brother. Claudia Riera as Christina, the girlfriend. Eduardo Antuna as salesperson, and I am including him in here because I think he did a fantastic job. And Gala Flores as neighbor daughter, because she's unfortunately very important to this. I skipped over it. We should talk about Act 3 real quick, because Act 3 is the penultimate kind of scene, and we briefly touched on it. But in this scene, the neighbor's daughter comes in with the dog, and she's got this whole thing there. She's like, I'm going to expose our relationship to everybody now, because that is what I'm going to do. And she tells the wife that she's kissed her, and so the wife is like, what the fuck? Of course, because that's what the wife would do. That makes a lot of sense. But little does she know that her whole world's going to get shocked in a much harder way. The viewers know that, so it hurts. And then we get to watch this whole cacophony of noises, sounds, things going bad. And right as Carlos is about to
People
tell
being
Maria,
confronted, right? Conflict, chaos, anxiety, all of these things happening, and the baby head still isn't out. And the dog is barking, and it's just loud, and it's anxious, and it's uncomfortable and hard to exist with it happening.
And then, of course, the dog pulls the baby head out, and we see immediately we get to go right on a close-in shot on girlfriend puking. It was a good choice.
You know what my notes say about that? I said, this is the movie anxiety would make. And then I said something, cut your baby's head off and then pukes in your mouth for you. Like, that vomit was just like perfect cut to. It's like, great, I felt that fall into my mouth. Thank you. It was like oatmeal. Thanks.
It was so chunky, man. Like, I was looking at it, and I was like, this is one of the more gross vomits. They didn't just like spray it or anything. It just went blah, 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 blah.
I tasted it. It was cool.
I want to say that there's something about her being vegan and all that, but I don't have it in me. I don't know. Anyways,
probably even more vegan after that.
It is one of the few buildups in a movie like this where it's not just like a release of tension, like it kind of is, but it's also in its own way. The pacing and the tone of the shot completely changes, that it feels like a big reveal of something. Like they did.
It was
a good
the
job.
Climax, absolutely, but it wasn't a reveal, not to us, anyways. But we're in on it, right?
Right.
We're in on the joke.
And so you have to like show this, like the reactions are what you think they would be, or they're even more intense than what you think they would be. And that vomit and the way that the cinematography kind of changes during this particular scene, I think just really well done. Again, super well done. It's
bright, it's fast, then it's dark, then it's slow, it was a really good job. This guy, I would assume, has had panic attacks before in real life.
If he hasn't, then he knows someone very, very well who has.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
And this isn't his
if
first.
You like that sort of thing.
This isn't his first movie either. He's done a couple, also with some of the similar actors in them as well.
See, I don't know, woefully ignorant about Spanish film. So I don't know any of these actors outside of this movie. So it's not like I didn't want to look it up. I didn't want to like be like, like I fucking know something, because I don't. What I do want to say about these actors is I think they were all wonderfully cast. As far as I could tell, I don't speak the language, but it all sounded like it was coming out very well, and the looks, the attitudes, the lady's voice was so good. I just think it was, to me, extremely well cast. But like being able to break down these actors against other roles they did or anything like that would just be me giving an opinion that I don't have.
Sure. And it's like I said, you can only like really judge one aspect of what you're seeing on film when you don't speak the language, right? Like you can kind
Well,
of
yeah, but this movie fucked me up, so they did a good job.
That's true. That's true.
It's not like the movie ever really left the apartment, so other than the showroom, and you made me really upset without leaving that apartment. So good job.
I would say so. Like during the showroom part in the very beginning, and this was before I knew what was going to happen. Because afterwards it doesn't feel like it matters at all. But I did write it was like kind of theatrical feeling, like and I know theatrical is where you see movies, but I mean like play stage feeling with the way they were responding to each other's lines with the salesperson there, and that's not
The
always a
no
bad thing.
windows stuff really packed in there vibe about the store, though, I will say mirrors the stores that I went into when I was there. That's just kind of the vibe. Lots of stuff packed in, unnatural light, like kind of spaces. So like it didn't feel off as like a showroom in actual Barcelona, and I assume it was. I assume everything in there was an actual showroom except for that table.
I really like that. The first shot, like even with the music and the way it was shot, it reminded me a lot of like David Lynch stuff. Just there for a second, and it was like, and
almost Wes Anderson-y vibes too.
because there was
with the shots low that would raise, had that kind of like, David Lynch-y, fucking sure, yeah. You need to make me watch more David Lynch. I watched his sci-fi stuff mostly.
We'll get there. Maybe we can watch The Elephant Man. I hear that one's a really happy movie.
I get to pick the next movie, and it is going to be some sort of happy, because we can't keep doing this to ourselves. Like, I'm already on antidepressants,
man. I'm telling you, man. One of these days, one of these movies will be happy. I promise. I think. Can't promise that. Okay, so yeah. Other than that, I really like the salesperson because he came across as sleazy. The neighbor and the neighbor's daughter. The neighbor's daughter thing. I have a hard time judging it because I really just kind of hated all of it so much right from the beginning, where they brought her in. I'm like, this is too much. Like, baby decapitated head is too much. This is also too much. And they start you off with the relationship or fake relationship, whatever you want to figure it out. It was between the 13-year-old and Jesus. And that acting,
it was just a fabricated relationship in the girl's mind. I really do think it was one way, but that guy definitely overstepped boundaries in what I would consider, but I don't know if things...
Yeah, I appreciated them going back to the brother and having like us knowing that the brother had heard about this before, because that made it feel like it was fabricated. Because past that, I'm like, oh, sheesh. But the brother going like, yeah, she's crazy.
I'm looking at my notes, and they're actually kind of fabulous. May I?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
The coffee table movie. This is the plot of an actual movie. Period. Blood dripping down gold or Swedish tits. Baby decapitated laying at your feet. 2 years of fertility treatments. That's my first paragraph.
Okay. All
right. Fucking brutal is the next line.
Okay.
Shit himself when he died, so changes his diaper. Period. Just the word dignity. Heartbreaking depression is the next sentence. It's not really a horror film. But that doesn't stop it from being horror. So I was going through it at that point, and I was like, absolute mental break, as if cleaning will make it okay. So I got to that point, cleaning baby blood off the floor in buckets. So that's the mop bucket, right? Where he's like, it's just baby juice. So I was there, decapitated baby head under a chair, and then I go, just kill yourself.
Yeah.
So at that point, I wanted him to commit suicide.
When you reach the point of the movie where you're giving suggestions now instead of just watching, I think that's when you really connect with it, and I think that's the messed up part.
Forced feelings of terrible loss, trying to frame it around a table, but the table's just the thing. Mistakes happen. Fucking mistakes happen, man. The building of terror until she finds out, him stuck in a complete panic, her laughing, going to check baby. So I was like, ooh. Baby's juice is dripping through the mattress, so that's what's happening now. So I wrote that down. Hanging out with baby head, just a sentence. Oh, here, I was happy. Michelangelo turtle figure. Oh, it's a good part of the movie. I get to see 80s toys. Oh, I can also see a baby dying.
Well, the 80s toys are
Um,
framed as such a. They're just
and
going
then
to sit on
crazy
the
little girl
shelves.
with the dog. What the fuck? Dog grabbing baby head. Why? Trauma-induced vomiting. Suicide. Severed baby and arms. This movie is like if a panic attack killed a baby and then threw up in your mouth. Those are
Okay,
my
there
notes
you
for
go.
this.
Okay, so we got there. Um,
Dude, there's some good lines in there.
do you think the salesman actually
That's a
wanted to?
trauma response. That whole notes thing I took is just a trauma response.
Like I said, I think
I'm trying to ground myself.
where I'm going to call this a success as far as what it wanted to do is that switch. Like I was saying just a second ago, that switch of when you start telling him what to do. Because at that point, you're in the story. You know what I mean? Like that point,
Yeah,
you've
man.
connected
I
with the
was like
trauma.
Elliot in the Never-Ending Story, except it was a nightmare.
Yeah. I wonder. There's two things I wonder
I gave
immediately.
the baby a name. I kept calling it out, but nothing got put back together.
Yeah. Do you think that this movie hurts as bad to non-parents?
I think that there's a whole subset of people that exist in the world that don't have children on purpose, and beyond that go out of their way to hate children, and they're super bitter about them, and they might actually think something like this is funny. That is a small amount of people. I think most people, I mean,
They like kids enough to not.
there's,
Yeah.
I mean, there's edgelord people, right?
Mhm.
Oh, but that baby, you know, like those people exist, but they're not people I'm around.
Mm-hmm.
The people I choose to spend my time with have empathy and love for other people, and don't shoot tear gas at people and don't do these kind of things. They just try to help people because that's about all we got. And yeah, I would be worried about you if you didn't feel like there's something. I don't know, man. Becoming a parent made things a lot more drastic. I changed a lot in my life when I became a parent because it wasn't about me anymore, and that was an interesting sensation for me when it happened because it wasn't a choice. It's just this is the way it is now. But I don't know that I'd want to meet a person that didn't think. I mean, if it happened to anybody, it's tragic. But when it happens to a baby after 2 years, like everything stacked together, like, yeah, dude, it's terrible. And I think that non-parents would understand that, but probably not. I don't know, man. That's a really good question. I'm filtering through it in my mind. Probably not. I don't think people know how much it takes to get to that point.
It's one of
That's a lot of work, man.
Yeah. Because it's one of those things. I got this specifically when I was watching the movie Weapons, right? And in that movie Weapons, there's a whole sequence that takes place that involves a kid getting bullied, and it was one of the worst feelings I got through that movie. Like it made me really sad. And that's what it was trying to do, right? But I was like, this is me being able to feel it through my kid's point of view almost, you know what I mean? Whereas I don't know that I would have had the same reaction without kids, and this is awful, and I probably would have felt away, but it's so much different once you are involved in the caretaking and watching an actual kid grow up. Because as a kid, you don't get it. You're like, hey, I'm old enough to understand my emotions, but then as a parent, you're on the outside, you don't, and you won't for a while, and that's okay.
I remember when you were a kid, you're like, you're so full of it.
Yeah.
I know everything.
It is funny.
I did, dude. I knew everything.
Yeah, I feel it.
I was super smart. That's why I ended up here.
Just this is that diaper changing scene where he changes the diaper, connects it so hard with my experience as a dad that it was just like, oh shit, it was just my empathy is there and this works, and he did it so realistic. So anyways, I have a lot of praise for the way things went. I
grabbed the baby head by the hair and just jumped out a window.
And it's that, and that's real because that's the mom ended up doing that, right? Maria ended up doing that. She got the baby head in the first issue. She said, "See ya."
Yeah, that's what I would have done. Yeah. I would have held my baby, screaming, and then just, I want to be where my baby's at.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think anyone even the cops afterwards, they're like, oh, well, that's. They don't know the whole scenario, but they're like, yeah, of course they jumped. There's a decapitated baby. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I would assume that anybody would get it, yes. But I think that maybe a lot of people wouldn't instantly go to, I need to not exist anymore. because of it. Maybe, you know, like it's terrible sadness, but maybe not life ending. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I ain't gonna speak for other people.
It's fair enough. It's fair enough. These
But
are
I
the
know as a
questions.
parent, and I think most parents who are parents that love their kids, like, yeah, there's no point anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if, like, in this situation with one kid, like, it's not even like you have other kids to, like, look out for anymore. It's just you left in the world with your decapitated baby. Like, cool, man.
You got to live
Peace.
with the fact that no matter even accident or not,
No,
this is
I
you
don't
who
have to
did
live
it.
with the
Yeah.
fact. I go, peace, like that. You know,
I
like
guess
the
the end of
gift
this.
of the guy that throws up peace and then just disappears. That's me.
Yeah.
Later.
This movie, I think, will teach you how you deal with anxiety. Because at the end scene, I was laughing, but I don't think it was a funny laugh. You know what
No,
I
you
mean?
were
Like
scared.
I was cracking up because like I don't know what
That's your
else to do.
primate brain,
Yeah.
and it laughs because you're nervous and you're scared. And so you start laughing to try and make light of the situation so you feel better about what's happening. And that's primal, dude. It got you in a primal mood.
Mm-hmm.
You start going the
Um.
and did you find yourself standing up and putting your knuckles on the floor and
Not quite like that. What I did find myself doing was paying attention to some of the other background kind of stuff that was happening in this movie.
had to?
And we'll talk about that. But first, before we talk about that,
I mean, this movie is for people who love to like slow down and look at people climbing out of car wrecks. You know, like they're like, "Oh, look at that!" You know, this movie's great for that.
Mm-hmm. Let's reconvene after we do 5 things you likely did not know. 1. When Carlos says to Jesus, "We've got 10 minutes before we go back," and Maria finds out there are actually 10 minutes remaining in the film. Neat little tidbit. 2. Entire film only took 10 days to shoot, and it was just made in a friend's house. Pretty impressive considering the production value that we see here is definitely punching above its weight. 3. Both co-writers, Caye Casas and co-writer Cristina Borobia, place their names in the film. Of course, we see the baby's name is Cayetano and the coffee table salesman's name is Cayetano. Cristina Borobia shares the surname with the protagonist of the film. I guess you could call them protagonists. That seems like a little bit of a fancy term for what they actually end up being. 4, of course, we know that the toys in the film were specifically chosen to match up the dates of what Jesus would have, like how old Jesus would have been. So you see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, you see the X-Wing, you see the Smurfs, etc. That all matches up with the same timelining. They did that on purpose. Clearly, they did a good job with it. We talk about that. You've seen Adam. He'll show you his collection at some point. If you ever ask him a VHS Goblin, he'll definitely show it to you. And the last one is just that the movie is meant to be as funny and as terrifying as you can get it. Essentially, Caye, he in a quote that he gave to another production company, I don't know who it is, a person named Rich Pieces. I'm not familiar with their work, but he says, "I would like them to never forget the experience, for better or worse." And that's the whole entire thing. So it's funny if you want it to be funny. It's upsetting if you want it to be upsetting. But it's unforgettable. Hard to argue that. Now back to your regularly programmed our review. Adam, let's talk about cinematography and creativity. This is we typically do movies that are like heavy on the special effects. This movie's not so heavy on the special effects. So I think this one is a little different than what we'd normally talk about because really the special effects in this one involve blood. And I'm going to go ahead and say a particularly poorly done baby head, which I'm actually really happy it was poorly done. It was very clearly a baby doll head. And
I disagree. I thought it was fabulous.
Oh, see, I'm so happy that they did.
You know what it did? Do you know what a decapitated baby head looks like?
No, I guess not.
Yeah,
but
good look, just like that.
It
From
had
all
like
the blood,
it had
all
like
the blood,
the weird like.
out of it.
I do know what a baby doll head looks like. It had
I
the
don't
weird
think
like
you do.
lip. You know,
I know what you're saying, and I think that yeah, I agree. But for me, I like practical effects,
Mm-hmm.
and I like it when they are creative like that. So for me, no hammer against the cinematography on the head. I thought it was plenty.
Yeah, yeah. They made good choices as far as like what to show and what not to show. I appreciated that at the very least. Like they showed enough to make it an absolute awful thing without making you actually look at the baby's body. I was so
Dramatically, you see it though, and that's where this movie
Mhm.
takes you. Even though the camera's in the hall, you still witness it happen, even though you weren't there. I can visualize how
Oh
the
my
table
god.
broke and how it decapitated the baby because of the aft. Like I see it,
Hmm.
I can see it in my head, without having to have seen it. And so, good job, man.
Yeah, yeah. I
Good job.
mean, you're exactly right. I think like that kind of the soft ukulele. I think it was music, and the baby stopped crying and the glass shattering. It was the exact right setup to get you in
Oh,
there.
and I love the build up because you knew exactly what was going to happen from the jump. You knew exactly what was going to happen. Like,
As soon as you put the glass like straight up in between those two things, and then the salesperson had made so many things about, well,
and
it's
I'm just yelling.
unbreakable almost.
By then, I was already into it because I'm like, brother, you know, any parent knows no glass furniture, like at all.
I don't care if the baby can't move yet. These babies are wild. They can figure things
No
out.
glass furniture in general.
Hmm.
Don't be. It's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
Just a
okay,
glass slab on top of like naked Swedish ladies. Calm down. You don't need this.
the like
Get
this.
a, get some pool noodles and put it around a card table, and that's your coffee table till they're 12.
No, really
Live
though.
with.
If you buy new furniture, okay, I'm hitting a lot of people who don't need to get hit right here. But if you get new furniture and you've got a very young child, you're wasting that furniture.
Cover them shits in blankets at least,
At
and
this,
stuff is still gonna soak through. Or you can go straight Italian grandma and cover it in plastic. Then it might keep. But the amount of sleaze that will build up in that
it's
furniture, because
so
I had a new couch. I got one
it's so
when Sal
gross.
was like 1.5, and it's just sleaze town now.
Yeah, I have the it was St. Vinny's couch. I did like it, right? But it was the St. Vinny's couch and same neither here nor there. But yeah, the armrests, they're gross. They're just gross, and it's just the babies living around them. You know what I mean? Like it's not even like I see food getting spilled on it. It's just like whatever their
I
grimy little
never
hands
had new
touch.
furniture in my life, and this was the first new piece of furniture I ever bought for myself because it was a couch with a cuddle corner.
Hmm.
You know what it didn't have? A giant sheet of glass on it.
I am happy to hear that for you because apparently that's not it. Don't do that.
I
And
mean, the wife was right,
she's right
but
for
for
the
the
wrong
wrong.
reasons. Yeah, we hit it. We hit it. She was like real like, well, I think this is the worst table I've ever seen because it's ugly. And like, sure, yeah, okay, it was ugly, right? Yeah, but it was unique in a way. Like I could see it working in certain spaces.
No, dude,
Not
that table's dog shit.
oh, I mean, but you can
It's
have
tacky as fuck. Does it belong in like a 1930s marble room with like all the gold pillars and shit, dude? Absolutely. And it's great in that space. But like in your apartment, get over yourself.
but I could see in like an
What
'80s
kind of dude
like
do you think you are? Is
okay.
your bed round? You know, do you drive a Jaguar? Do you fucking
You're hitting on it though. That's the person, right? Like an '80s like outrun like house where it's like everything is like white, where
do
you've got like
cocaine off that table? That's what that table's
exactly.
for. It's a cocaine
Yes.
table.
Yes, it's the cocaine table. So you have to be a
Something
cocaine
Tony
person.
Montana would have had.
Exactly. So I think there's a world for it, but it's a very small world, admittedly. However, newborn
Dude, I
parents
like
not.
terrible shit, so I get it. I
Yeah.
have so much tacky stuff in my home that people would be like, "Oh, that's gross," but it's like whatever. Like, I get it. I get it.
I
I
I,
get it. But glass furniture around babies, Mr. Director, if you ever have a child, you nailed it. Don't do it.
this is the one worry about like the biggest worry about it. But yeah, so like kids, they run into any corner you have. You can have a door with
They
like
find them.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a shark
Mm-hmm.
with like their magnetic pole to things.
Mm-hmm.
They just go straight for it.
Yeah, I have a door that just has crown molding around it, and the kids ran into the crown molding. Like, how even do you do that? And they've done it with their heads. So
Corners of walls. You know,
their
it's like
spatial
it's
recognition.
always there.
I'm sure everyone's heard the term object permanence at this point who has even thought about kids, but it's real. Like, they don't understand that things that still exist around them at all times.
Oh, God, I wish I could be that way.
It would be easier in a lot of ways. But now we've seen that it also wouldn't be easier.
Cinematography, fantastic.
Really? Yeah.
Camera cuts, amazing. Lighting, amazing. Feeling of panic, dread through the lens, great job. Fantastic. Really upset me.
I agree wholeheartedly. The choice of shots was awesome throughout. Every time it did.
Talented filmmaker.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very good work. And I put it up there with the tragedy we were talking about during the break, but like, you know, with movies like, God, like I don't want to like oversell it, but like stuff that makes you feel real icky, like Train Spotting or God, what movie were we talking about?
Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream is even more accurate as to like the level of sadness and emotion that the film forces you to the depths that it drags you down to, and how it keeps, even after you're already drowning, it just keeps pulling you into darker and darker and deeper water throughout the whole film. And the camera shots definitely, it's that feeling of like coming up for a breath of air. There's like a moment of levity, there's like a moment of like, and then all of a sudden it just all comes crashing back down again. It's just that feeling of you can't escape, like drowning, right? Like you're gonna die, but like how much are you gonna suffer before you get there, you know? And like,
that's exactly right, because it does release tension through kind of the scenes, right? But then the tension all comes back because the situation hasn't changed.
But the shit's still right. There's still a decapitated baby. That's why it's like the first thing we said in this movie review, regardless of anything that's going on. Like, yes, it's called The Coffee Table, and a coffee table kills the baby, and the coffee table's tacky, and you can think whatever you want about it, but that's not what the movie's about. The movie's about decapitated baby.
The coffee table is simply the vehicle that gets you to decapitated baby.
Right.
The
coffee table is not alive. It is not sentient. It did not choose to kill this baby. So that's why I said it's kind of like, to me, not a horror. It's more of just like a really tragic incident, you know, which is, you know, terrible. But
there were two scenes in particular that I really loved, and I wrote them down specifically to talk about them. One of them is the kind of like voyeuristic shot of the dad in the bathroom as he's writing his suicide or speaking his suicide note, because that really does make it feel like you are watching someone, like, you know, you're watching someone in this movie, but it gives you that like, I'm peeping on someone who is having their most like intensely personal moment throughout this whole entire thing, and they don't want me to hear this.
Yeah, I think when you were talking earlier about when the shock wore off for him, what did I think? That's probably it. It's probably the point, right? Like, he hit rock bottom at that point. Like, all right, I got to get this out so I can be done. You know?
Yeah, he's like, this is it. This is over. I can't get through any of the rest of this, and they're gonna get through it right now, so okay, let's go. And the way it was shot through that door, but it's also like a call for help, because at this point his brother comes in and he does ask his brother for help, right? And he leaves that door just a little bit open, you know. And it's, I've been trained a lot in trauma, you know, like crisis intervention, and one of those things is suicide. And it is true that a lot of times the suicide is related to a call for help. Like, they are leaving signs, and this is their ultimate way, because no one will, you know, notice them in other ways. It was just really well done. I thought that this evoked that response and that feeling. And it was just
such a brotherly way when he goes, who's that for? You know? And it's like, fuck. He's, you know, like the weight you feel all of a sudden that's about to be shifted to this man.
Oh, the brother. What a, yeah. That stinks.
I would like to think that I would be able to be as calm as him in that situation. I wouldn't be. I would leave immediately. I would just call 911 and leave.
The brother,
I'd be like, this is no longer my problem.
And that would be, I think, a logical response.
The only healthy thing to do.
The brother really does try. Like, his version of, well, we got to tell her first
brother,
off.
right?
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah, and his response is so well chosen to me, because it's like, well, we got to tell her, but she
It's
can't
the
see the
first
baby.
steadiness that we find during this storm that we're in. It's the brother, like, right. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, his idea, like, well, she can't see this body. She cannot see this body because he's like, I know that this will break her. It probably will break her anyways, but that will for sure break her. So we have to attempt to do it in not another way. And of course, then the neighbor comes in and ruins that whole entire plan. But that scene, and then one that I thought was actually pretty, it did evoke a little bit of a laugh and a little bit of a shock, and maybe the only true quasi jump scare in this movie, when it did the zoom in on the baby doll head on the shelf. It was such a mean moment because that's probably the same baby doll head that they put underneath the chair. And,
I liked it though. I did.
Yeah. When he's just like looking up, he goes, "Oh!" and then the baby doll head is just up on the shelf.
I was so fucked up at that moment in emotion, that like anything was better than what was happening.
100%. It's like, okay, you scared me with a baby doll head. That's funny. Oh no, that's right. It's not, because this is based on real things that are happening in this movie. Oh no.
That little girl and her face, good, great acting, little girl. When that dog comes out with the head and the way her face drops, and then it just instantly cuts to, God damn, dude, I'm having anxiety just thinking about it.
100%.
The cinematography during that scene, all around, throughout the whole thing, let's be honest, was just great. He knew exactly how he wanted to capture everything that he captured. He took things from great angles. I didn't feel taken out of it at any point. If anything, I got more and more wrapped up in it as it went, and felt more and more disconnected from my own reality, and more trying to help this man deal, or at least get him to the point where he can be done with it.
Right, exactly. Like, just please end this. The way he shows anxiety on Jesus' face the whole way through.
A cat got run over or something, and you're watching it crawl to the side of the road, right? Like, that's how it feels. It's like, brother, this is never going to get better. I'm so sorry. Like, it's never going to be okay.
Unfortunately, this particular thing that has happened is actually the worst.
It's permanent, and it's never going to be okay. So just, like, deal with it now. Rip the Band-Aid off.
Get it over with. Yeah, exactly. The way they showed anxiety on Jesus' face, or like the shock just in general, with him being sweaty and him being very close-ups, 1,000-yard stares during scenes where people are talking, exactly, and then the sweat. One thing I really loved was the single tear that dropped when he was staring at the blood, and Maria was not taking it seriously at all. She was just like, oh, okay, whatever, let's get ready for lunch. That tear just drops. And again, the thing that this movie does, I wrote, it's an empath's nightmare.
Yeah, it was.
And not to be in the movie. It's way more than that. To watch the movie is an empath's nightmare.
Yeah, well, I would have rather been in the movie, because I would have dealt with it an hour before that. I wouldn't have went through any of that.
When suicide's
100%.
better.
I mean, sometimes.
Every part of it was just like a ramp of like, man, you got to tell them, but there's all the reasons in the world. They just keep stacking these reasons why it's understandable.
As soon as you tell somebody that's the end of your life.
But it's the end of their life too, right? Like,
right.
It's
but it's gonna happen. But like, man, I don't judge the guy at all. Like, they made the scene where like she goes in to check with him and he has the knife and he follows her, and you're like, even if like he was going to kill her before she saw the baby, I was like, you know what I told myself? I was like, honestly, that's probably a kinder thing to do, is make her think that you murdered her over her having to see her dead baby. Like, that's probably the kinder thing to do here.
She would.
That's
go,
where my fucking brain was at.
I can follow, because then she'd go into the afterlife thinking that the coffee table was what killed her, right?
Or the guy just snapped or something, but she would have never known that her baby got decapitated, right?
because and when she does find out, it does kill her because she commits suicide immediately afterwards, right? So
Yeah.
that's the thing I think with Jesus. It's not just about him coming to grips
I,
with
I
the
think
dead
him
baby.
stabbing her, though, that scene, I think maybe some people read it as like madness or something, but I actually think he was seeing it as like, I can do her a favor and then kill myself right after, right? Like, it would be better for me just to kill her as kindly as possible without the additional trauma, you know? Not that I agree with it necessarily, but
You can follow
I
the logic in a really messed up dude's head, right?
right, and it's not like he did it anyways, right? But like they definitely made a point of saying he thought about it, but I think it was compassion. I don't think it was madness or anger. I think he was thinking about it compassionately.
And of course, this is after the scene where she laughs at him for a good 5 minutes straight.
I mean,
And if you
he
haven't
is
watched it,
so shell shocked
yeah,
and gone at that point that it doesn't. It's just chaos to him, anyways. It's just noise.
that is true. Yeah. Although, as just a viewer, that laugh was probably the most grating part of the movie, and it worked exactly right. I'm not saying that in a negative part. This is again one of the only other parts of the movie that I would describe nearly as Lynchian because of the soundscape of it all. It's just like they use the sound to get under your skin again. Because for a second, maybe things felt okay. She's cooking, like she's not cooking the she's making sandwiches. She's cooking, but I don't. Wait, what is the difference between cooking and making sandwiches? Is there a difference?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. So she's
Did you
making
eat
sandwiches,
anything that went onto the sandwich?
and I don't
That's
remember.
cooking.
She's making omelets though, so I'm wrong about all of this.
Yeah.
We'll take a step back. She's cooking omelets, and
Spanish omelets.
yeah, we're seeing things like
Doesn't matter what she was cooking. Baby
no,
liver,
no.
fucking
Yeah.
big bird. Doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. You just sent me in a spiral there on accident because I'm like, what if that's what he did? Is he had? Anyways, I'm not even gonna say it out loud because that would be the worst movie. What's this mystery meat?
Then it's a horror movie.
Then it's a horror movie. So, anyways, the cinematography is wonderful. I really thought it was very good. And whatever the budget of this movie was, I don't imagine it was a lot. It punched way above that in just its ability to show off what it wanted to.
It is far superior to any of the slop that major studios are putting out when it comes to cinematography. It was done with thought and care and the interest of the director in mind, and you could see that come through in his art, and it wasn't canned at all. There was new ways of looking at things in movies that this guy did, and a lot of people don't take those risks. And bravo, it was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, really good job. Really good job. Outstanding, even. It getting remade in different languages is no surprise to me.
Right. People are going to try to
They better
capitalize
have
on
him
it.
do the fucking do it though.
Right, they should. He clearly knows what he's doing here.
If you don't nail the vibe that he nailed with the chaos and the anxiety, the movie is a different thing.
It's just mean and awful, right? Like right now you have
Then
mean
it's
and well made.
just punishment, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, editing pacing. Now, editing and pacing is the one part of this movie where I have a suggestion. And that is I think it's important to have shown the anxiety attack of Jesus. I don't think we needed to show it for as long as they did. I think having an event break up the pace between Jesus and the baby and then Maria and the lunch, having another event in there would help to move the movie along at a better pace. Because I felt like at that one point, it just kept wrapping us around the same thing.
I disagree.
Fair?
I thought that the rapidity of what a panic attack feels like coming on and the spiraling of the drain and like the slipping and the losing control and like the kind of things that you try to hold on to mentally while you're falling into that state. especially in between that cut there where he's coming, reality's just smacked him in the fucking face that she's home, he didn't kill himself, and now, like, what do I do, you know? And there's a respite in that for a moment of just like, maybe I can fix this, you know, mentality that he was kind of going through, and the breaking of that, like, I'll never fix this happens, but all of a sudden there's somebody there and he can't take things into his own hands, and like, so he's trying to like put together, and I could see how you could feel like that might, you know, it feels clumsy, right? And it feels clunky and it feels bad, but I think that that's like the blue screen of death and your brain restarting, right? And trying to get out of that mode, and just like the unavailability of you to, no matter what's happening around you, you know, you cannot get out of the screen that you're seeing in your head and what's happening in your head. And it's like, she could have been kicking him in the balls or laughing at him or anything, you know, yelling. It didn't matter. There was going to be the same response to anything, right? Which is just trauma. It was extremely uncomfortable, but I think by design. To me, it kept me in a state of anxiety and panic throughout the entire thing, when it should be that, when he was feeling that way. And I disagree with you on that, with the pacing. I actually, you know, thought that the pacing was scarily identical to what an anxiety attack really is. You know, it's like the 7 stages of grief 100 times over, you know, and like he's trying to process, and like your brain just won't let you. And it's uncomfortable and it's clunky and it feels bad, and fuck, it sucks.
Yeah, well, and that's why suggestion as opposed to complaint, I suppose, is.
I didn't want him to move it along faster. I didn't want him to wrap that up. I didn't want him to string anything along. I wanted to stay in that like downward spiral, right? Like that feeling of like you're circling the drain, but nobody's pulling you up, but you're not going down, and like you're just stuck in a moment. What's that fucking song? Oh my god, I almost just did a song. You're stuck in a moment and you can't get out of it.
Down in a hole by Alice in Chains. I don't.
You got to get yourself together. You've been stuck in a moment and you can't get out of it. I don't know who it is. But yeah, he's stuck, right? And like torture. It's just torture.
I see, and I can feel that. I can feel that. For me, it's the cleaning scenes, right? Because they are important, but it's like the searching for everything and not having it, and then going up to the neighbor's place and then getting the stuff and then having the conversation with the daughter.
Frustration, though, that creates.
And then it still doesn't clean. And I agree. This is just where I'm like, give me something else. I guess it's because I really did.
What, him dunking the rag into the bucket?
No. It's not even that. It's him going up
like strawberry milk. You didn't like that?
No,
you didn't want to drink that water?
Him going up to the neighbor, right, and having that conversation with her. Because first off, that conversation is great, right, with the neighbor. But with the neighbor's daughter, I think I just really dislike that relationship so much, and I don't really like enjoy what it added to the movie, that I would just wish that part hadn't been included in this particular breakdown, because now he's dealing, of course, with this little girl who thinks that she's in a relationship. That's a lot bigger of an issue, but he's like, whatever, I don't care. Sure. I can follow it.
Do you feel like it was tacked on?
Not that
but not that on purpose, but do you feel like it was like it's a tacked on piece?
I feel like it's unnecessary. Like,
I thought it was showing you, to me, I guess unnecessary. Go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like it was unnecessary simply because the situation is already so bad that even adding this in doesn't realistically change the severity of the situation he's in.
It didn't give you an anchor point of actual tragedy versus fabricated tragedy. What's really important? Because it was a big deal what was about to happen with her and him. Like, it was going to be a big blow-up deal. But it meant nothing. It was complete garbage. It doesn't matter at all.
True.
Which most things in the world don't.
True.
But
I think...
But I think... Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
I think when she comes back during the dinner, right? in the lunch. This makes sense to me. But I also don't think that they needed to have that conversation right then to change the focus of any of the major plot points, the major tension that's going on, because I don't feel like that changed it, right? Like her coming back and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna, that's it. Hey, wife, your husband kissed me in the elevator." Like she's, whether or not she's making it up, right at the dinner time, wonderful. She could have just been coming back for the chemicals. I just feel like that part at that moment took away from the tension of him actually having killed the baby and trying to clean.
I think I liked it. I thought it was the idea of fabricated stress versus real stress, or fabricated panic or anxiety versus real. Because, like, as far as like the tone of the film goes, he knows he didn't do anything wrong, right?
Right.
And so even if that girl does come in, start some whole shit, like it's gonna end fine. He's going to, he's not guilty as far as the movie tells us. He's
Right.
actually the farthest thing from guilty. He wants nothing to do with this child in any sort of relationship other than being friendly to her once, which was obviously a mistake.
Yeah. I can dig that too. That
so
that
it's like
explanation.
it's just
tracks.
like created drama that the whole world runs on nowadays, right? And it's all you see, and it's all the time, and it's constantly in your face, and people are making your issues their fucking issues, and people will not leave you alone, and it's constant pressure while you're trying to deal with something that's very real in your home, whether that be I lost my job, or oh shit, the fridge isn't working, but you have real problems that are really dramatic. In this case, your baby's head got cut off with a coffee table. So you know what? Your shit does not matter to me, and thank you for making me realize that most shit does not matter, right? What matters is what's in front of me and what I can do,
Sure. Okay.
And so it kind of gave me like, it was like if you dive into a pool and you see the depth marks on the wall, baby head cut off's the bottom of the pool. This girl's like about 3 feet down in the water, right? And so it just, to me, it just gave you like a tether point of like reality.
Sure. Okay. I can.
Because the rest of the movie is so chaos, like spinning, crazy, intense. There's no tether points. And then all of a sudden, this stupid little girl comes in and starts shit, and you're just like, get the fuck out of here. And like that's the point, right? You're like, oh my god, like I'm invested, like I care, and like why is this girl doing like this guy like it? So to me it slowed things down just enough for me to realize what the dog's about to do.
No, that's
and I'm like, oh no.
I think these are all I think it's a great point, really. I do. I as far as a barometer goes, that does make sense. I do wonder, because
people take stuff in their daily lives so seriously and make it so dramatic and work it up so much, and that girl was the embodiment of that.
That's true, because
making a mountain out of a molehill when there was, when there was a nuclear bomb on the floor, self-importance, man.
Okay, so I'm thinking, other than that, editing, pacing, the movie's an hour and 29 minutes long. It's not long. It moves along.
It felt like 3.
But in this case, I think this might be a positive towards the editing and pacing, because
it's like they drug me over hot coals for 3 hours, and it was an hour and a half. It was did not feel like an hour and a half, which meant that you messed up my time frame by torturing me, which is awesome. Good job.
Right, because I feel like there's a lot of potential for a movie with as limited a set as this one is, and as limited maybe.
The human mind is quite a set, brother.
No, this is real. But like, not everyone can tap into it. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like they did a pretty good job at keeping it moving along well enough without it falling into the doldrums of tediousness.
Even a doldrum in this movie would have been hard to swallow, right?
Oh god, yeah.
Could you imagine? Well, at that point, like you have to fill the space with something, so he's just probably going to instantly. Things keep happening, right? He wants to not be there anymore, but he keeps getting tethered.
It's true. The most of the rest I have to say about the editing and pacing was just that it was really mean showing Maria at the store. and it was there for all the right reasons. And I agree, but that was one of those like, wow, she's just talking to her friends. She's just smiling. She's just out of place. She
Well,
doesn't
that's one of my
know.
favorite scenes in the movie when she hands her the phone. This big jolly friend who
Yeah.
seems so sweet and loving and like being super supportive and like, guess what? I got baby meat on me. Like what are you supposed to say?
Right. Well, and he hangs up, which makes sense, right? It's all very logical. It's
It's just a trauma response, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, here's an input that I can't deal with, so I'm going to make it go away.
Yeah, right. Like I can't. There's not an option for me to talk to this
My
person.
brain's focused on this right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like I shouldn't even have answered this phone, but I know if I didn't answer this phone, I would have had to deal with you twice over. But just watching Maria during those scenes and the way they cut it in, so happy. That's what makes it so awful. Is you see someone who is happy. She's buying food for her kid.
She's finally getting that bottle of wine that she hasn't had since she's been pregnant and had the baby. She might even have a glass. She might.
Yeah, she gets.
She's relaxing a little bit. The brother's coming over with the 18-year-old girlfriend so she can talk a little shit, and like, she's feeling herself, and her buddy's there, and she's just like, having a good day now.
I get quiet time, which like it is valuable. This is real.
Yeah.
So that was about it for me. Everything else other than that, awesome. I'm in on it. Well done. Awesome is a hard word to use in this movie, but it was awesome as far as like what they chose. Do you have anything else with editing, pacing?
No, I thought it was great.
Okay, let's talk about sound music. First off, I get the weird soundscape stuff. Sometimes they were in a lot of echoey spaces, so I can forgive a lot of the echo that was happening. But it was a little bit distracting in the first scene in the showroom for me. But I think
that's exactly what it sounds like, though.
I know that the stairway. I think the stairwell felt more real, like it was like that level of echo where they're in a small room.
A showroom like that with no windows and a short ceiling and packed tight. That's just what it sounds like.
Yeah,
I don't even know that he did anything different in the space. I think he just recorded the sound out of the space.
And that may be it. It felt a little overdone to me. But this is like the smallest of nitpicks
it's
I could
like
possibly give
bright and poppy almost, the sound in the showroom, but at the same time stale like a fucking cigarette butt, So like it's just like that's the feeling it gives you, It's like polish on a turd kind of place, Like it's just the way it is, and it's just echoey and gross in there. It probably smells like mildew and that's the vibe it gave me anyways. So like the kind of echo, it's like a drip, right? You expect to hear it in a place like that. You expect to hear that sound, The acoustics in there are probably terrible. So like makes sense. And the apartment is so small and the hall is such a just column of sound that, all the sound has to hit at least 3 walls, right?
No, and here's the part that got me is it was the same echo from location to location. I just feel like the showroom versus the stairwell versus the apartment should be different. But again, this is like the smallest of nitpicks. I don't think that like I don't let it impact my grade. I'm just getting the one thing out of the way that I think.
I just didn't notice it.
That's totally fair. I get weird about it sometimes. I don't know.
No, that's great. That's why we do this, because we're weird about stuff.
That's true. Because otherwise, I love the music in this movie. The music in this movie was awesome.
Sound effects in this movie that you don't really notice are happening, but they're happening. The ringing and the buzzing and the. Good job.
Yeah, like I don't have a single bad thing to say about any of the rest of it. Like awesome music. They did a phenomenal job. Whoever did the soundtrack for this movie.
Here was Tangerine Dream.
It's one of those things. It was really awesome. Who knows? Let's see if I can find this real quick.
Is this the movie Thief? The soundtrack by Tangerine Dream.
So they did say it in the credits. In the very first credits. Yeah, but the music was awesome. Like this very noirish guitar tones going. Just sick. Like I really enjoyed the music. I actually mentioned like regardless of the rest of it, and I talked earlier about being able to focus on other parts of this movie when things were getting a little bit too heavy. The soundtrack was always there so you could focus on it, and it provided kind of that outlet because it was interesting enough without being overpowering to kind of bring its own character into the movie. Um, I can't say enough good things about it. I really enjoyed the soundtrack in this film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Job extremely well done again, right?
There's a lot of technical prowess
Wonderful.
going on here.
Yeah, wonderful.
And it was just always the right time to bring in the noir soundtrack. I mean, I could just hear that song in the back of my head. The splash screen of the Blu-ray I got is this, the song you hear throughout the main theme, but with a female singer over the top of it, and it's just wonderful. It's just a great song, and they chose to use it in all the perfect places. So, besides that echo, there's nothing else. I'm a-okay with the whole thing. Like that was awesome. So, really, not a lot to talk about here, other than kudos.
They should get whoever did Barbarian Queen's voiceovers to do the English dub, though. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think about how it would sound like, because that would be
terrible. Be off.
You can't. I don't.
Be like old kung fu movies.
Can you imagine trying to make this movie campy, but without adding scenes?
Well, I heard they're going to make it in the U.S. with Nicolas Cage. It's going to be great.
Dude, that might actually.
Nicolas Cage will be the dad.
I wonder if he could do good.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas will be the baby.
Fran
Drescher will be mom.
Oh man.
How's my baby?
Her laugh would probably be kind of similar, though. I bet.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. What's that? Do you know that lady with the red hair from Orange Is the New Black? The curly red hair. She could probably do a good version of this. I bet. She's also from like Russian Dolls. I know the stuff she's in, but for some reason I can't remember the name.
Natasha Lyonne?
Yes.
Yeah, she's fabulous. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. I don't really think of her as... I guess she has red hair and a lot of stuff. I've loved her for 20 years. She's amazing.
I think she could do a good version of the mom if they were ever to make it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like she's one of those actresses that can do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Super talented.
She's got that right level of attitude too. You know what I mean? Like Maria had to be played by someone who was willing to have that attitude, and also
that actress is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved her physical imperfections and how she wore them like armor. Like I love that about people. I love people that are so. I know who I am and I'm great. Like she seemed like a real cool person. Like she's probably actually a lot of fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
Probably talks a lot of shit, but like
it's like you gotta hang out with some East Coast people. That's
the problem. That's where I'm getting is like my wife's from Philly and all our family's from Philly, so I'm just used to people being dicks. It becomes endearing.
Yeah. If they're not being rude to you, something's wrong. You know what I mean?
If they're not talking to you, that's like or if they're like being extra nice to you, like you fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're probably gonna end up in a river somewhere.
Yeah, right. This is like things have gone real bad. This is it. Okay, so let's move on to the final portion of the film. Your 3 favorite scenes. So that's the 3. I'll start off here. Because as we've talked, it's hard to describe a scene as exactly light, but I think the scenes of the film that worked the best for me were first off the lunch scene when Jesus goes off on his brother. So this isn't when the dog comes in. This is prior to that. So when he's just sitting there and his brother is talking about how he has gotten the 18-year-old pregnant and how he's going to be dad and how great it is that they're going to be cousins. And they're all like, hey, why aren't you talking? Why are you being such a jerk? And we, of course, all know. And they keep flashing over to him, kind of looking at the head underneath the chair. And he's not really paying attention to anything else. He's just downing glasses of wine. He's just like, chug. Okay.
Yeah, super
chug.
healthy.
He looks like garbage. He's sweating. He's super pale.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, he did take a mighty glass of Chard through the hand, too.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah,
He did actually lose a lot of his own blood. He was fucked up.
And
should have went to the hospital for stitches.
100%. Every part of
that. But that wasn't in the cards, right? But anyway,
there's no way.
He was having a medical emergency.
every part of that scene imparts the feeling that happens when a person has something that they are thinking about and ignoring the small minutia of whatever is happening in front of them. It was like if you want to like get close to like the telltale heart level of anxiety, this is that scene that really gave it to you, right? Important things are happening here, but he can't stop thinking about the one thing that's actually matters in his life right here. His brother wants nothing more than to hear him congratulate him, and he can't even pay enough attention. So instead, he lashes out because he's like, I just need to get you away from me, right? And because a person who's worked with people, that's a very real response. Like, okay, whatever, man.
Yeah.
I need to push you away right now. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say some rude shit, push you away. Just a phenomenal scene. Very, very awful in emotionally, but a phenomenal scene in the context of the movie. Second favorite, of course, the dog vomiting, the whole end scene. It's gross, it's nasty, it's awful. But they needed to have Act 3 work towards some crescendo, and this is what we got. A dog with a baby's head and a pregnant woman vomiting. Just shot exceptionally well. It does feel like it ratchets up the action immediately. Like,
Raises the heart rate, that's for sure.
oh yeah, gosh darn, it does. And then it ends, of course, with Maria committing suicide, which we don't see. Thankfully, they do happen to
I
leave a
think
lot of
mom and dad just both jumped together, right?
Yeah,
That's what I would have done. I just would have grabbed hands and just jumped off the balcony.
I think that
Maybe like struck a Michael Jackson, like, free throw dunk as I go,
I think they jump separately, but I do think the police say they both jumped, right? That both parents and the decapitated babies, they both died. But I think we do see Jesus like looking around for Maria at the end there.
Well, yeah, that's probably a relief for him.
Yeah, and of course, then we see the ghost family with their coffee table looking all happy. The coffee table is included.
And the Jedis appear.
And 3, the intro scene with the salesperson and the coffee table. The argument was obnoxious, but the honesty from the salesperson was funny. When he's like, "Hey, I'm getting this table no matter what. All right. Do you really think it looks good?" And he's like, "No." Not even trying to figure out the right words to say. He's just like, "Nah,
No, it's tacky as fuck, dude. But you do you.
He's like, "You already bought it. You already agreed. We have a contract verbally." The camera angles and presentation were super well executed. I thought awesome introduction to the movie. It hooked me right away. It looked good. It was entertaining and interesting to listen to. Great hook for a movie. What you got for me, Adam? What are your 3 favorite scenes?
I had to roll this around because the word favorite isn't what I would use. I would say the 3 most impactful scenes on me of the movie,
Fair.
Would be more like what I would talk about here. And even that feels wrong. It's like, here's the parts that traumatized me the most, So when he's cleaning the table and he's taking the rag and he's wiping it down the golden woman and then he's dipping it in the bucket and it's just red. And then he's scrubbing the carpet and he's trying to like clean away the problem, clean away the sin, clean away whatever it is. And if he can get this done, then he can fix the next thing, right? But this has got to be fixed right now. And it's just it's like a bear's eating you, but you're still fighting back, right? You're still trying to make it's done. It's done. It's been done. It happened. But he's still treading water, right? And still trying to get there and still on survival mode, right? Like, well, I should clean up. I should do this. And so, like, that part screwed me up bad. And especially when he's wringing out the rag in the bucket because of the severity, you're just like, God, man.
Yeah, this makes sense.
So that part messed me up pretty good. The dog, same thing, end of the movie, dog taking head and running with it and like a dog would do, and then it's just like glass breaks, right? And it's just chaos. And I would say I disassociated a bit during that part, so good job. Like, really traumatized me, so that was awesome. And I like it when dude shows up on the elevator and brings him the screw, like the actor, but how he's trying to force his way into his life and be his friend and come into his house and do all of these things. And he's just such a sweet guy that shares a name with his son. And like in any other circumstance, he'd be like, oh, what a sweet guy. He just wants a friend. Like his life probably sucks. And like, and this guy's like fucking got blood on him and shit. And like, so it's like watching like I said about the girl and like severity, depth meter. Well, that guy's treading water, right? He's fine. He's not even 3 feet down. He's having a good day, and he's met a new guy, and they're kind of buddies now, and like, and like, just I enjoyed because he had a break for just a moment. He was talking to a person. It was fine. Everything's normal. Right? And then all of a sudden the guy wants to come a little too far, push a little too far into his stuff, and it's like we ain't doing this.
Just like, get out of here.
Yeah. So that was like, I was able to breathe for like 30 seconds.
I did enjoy that scene a lot too. I wonder how much Jesus must blame Cayetano, the salesperson.
I blame IKEA.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he did.
It ain't his fault. Also, guess what? Don't lean the glass. For starters, well, I'm going to put the mic over here. For starters, don't get glass furniture if you have a baby. But, man, it's prepackaged furniture. It ain't his fault. When I was in college for a while, I worked at Staples, and I had to put together all the display furniture. Them shits don't come with stuff all the time. You just have to assume.
That's true. And
so don't take the glass out of the styrofoam. Leave it in the box.
I also do think that the salesperson threw him a line with that no line. Like, when he's like, hey, do you really think this looks good? He's like, no. He was really throwing him a line, I think, right there. He was like, yeah, I have to sell this, dude. Like,
right. This is my job, but this is trash.
Yeah, right. Like, this is like, you can get out right now. I know I've got you, but I kind of like you, so let's. But
they kept using the words. They made it very much like it was an IKEA piece of furniture. All the nomenclature and the manual they show in the beginning of the movie and the name of it, the whole thing. It's all a Swedish piece of IKEA furniture. That's the idea, right? And commonly, they come without screws.
And of course, then we hear the little tidbit on that scene that if you don't screw in the glass, it's not actually unbreakable.
Pro tip: all glass is breakable.
Try, from the outside looking in, without the argument that the couple were having, it was very clear whatever he was saying was fake. When he goes, perfect fake gold, it was one of the funnier versions of trying to sell something, because I'm like, this probably really works on a lot of people, but when I hear perfect fake gold, I just go, oh, that's spray painted on. Okay, so it's real garbage.
I mean, obviously, it was tacky trash. I get what, I'm not against people liking tacky trash, though. Like, I don't judge the dude for it, but, like, you have a baby now. What are you going to do? Put your Playboys out on it? Like, grow up, man. You don't need a glass naked woman table. It's cool.
It's just this, like,
wait until your kids are older and you have a man cave, then buy that and put it in there.
No, and it is interesting, right? Because then he goes on the whole spiel about how, like, the whole house is chosen by someone else. So this is really just a manifestation of him attempting to assert himself into his space. And like, you can buy that or you cannot, right? Like, there's all these sort of arguments that yeah, exactly. Well, it could just be an argument based on nothing, right? And I think that could be implied within this film, but also, like, in one way, you can also see how this coffee table could be important to someone, because he's saying, like, I'm making the decision here. I don't get to make these decisions anywhere else. Let me make this decision.
Right.
And of course, trying to assert that dominance or feeling that pride towards it being about you still is what ends up, in roundabout ways, getting the baby killed. So it's just the whole way down.
Just a tragedy.
Yeah, just a tragedy. Exactly. Let's give our.
Did anything on purpose?
No one did anything on purpose. I think that argument that they had led to the purchase of the coffee table on purpose, but I don't think you could blame anyone for anything after that.
I mean, let's be honest, though. Like, you have to really want that coffee table to buy it. Like, he really wanted that coffee table. You don't pretend to like that coffee table. That coffee table's terrible.
What do you see? This is why I think that they may not have been doing so well together, because I think that coffee table was purchased as a way to make his wife mad.
I didn't feel that way at all.
See, I think he knew how much she hated it, and that's what made him want to buy it.
See, you and I just thought he loved it so much that he couldn't live without it. Like, he was obsessed with it.
I think every time she was like, "This sucks," it would just drove his resolve to get it a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see it that. I honestly didn't. I just thought he was in love with the thing and like, I'm not leaving without. This is the best coffee table I've ever seen.
I do think he liked it. I agree with that 100%. But I think every time she's like, "This thing sucks," he's like, "Oh man,
she's
it's
right.
coming home." She was right, but I think that's the part that gets him. He's like, "I like this, and it does suck." But
I just can't get past the point that they put glass furniture.
No, and if there is one lesson to learn from this, is do not put glass furniture around children. I agree with that 100% wholeheartedly. And I think as soon as the movie starts and it shows this coffee table with the glass, there's no second guessing on what is going to happen. This glass is going to break and it's going to hurt someone. The method of it was a shock, but the actual execution of it, not a shock.
Nick really likes to make me watch movies where people get decapitated with glass.
Someone give me an international horror film that's not traumatic at this point, because I keep watching these international horror films that keep being traumatic.
See, you're like gaslighting me now though, because you're like, these aren't tragic. I didn't say tragic. I said people got decapitated with a plate of glass in two movies. Two guillotined with glass. I have glass in my home. I don't need to feel scared about it.
Funny enough, Canadian movie. I don't know if this is funny or it's just something.
You just had to up it up, though. Like, the first time it was a teenage girl. This time it's a baby.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, you didn't feel enough hurt last time, did you? I'm like, let's watch people run around and play with swords, and you're like, no, let's decapitate children.
To be fair, the Silent Night. I didn't choose that one. That's not even Silent Night, was it? Was it Silent Night? Silent Partner. Boom, Got it. Got there. Okay, Adam, would you kindly review this film for me?
Like I do with all films, I guess. I don't want to let how I feel about this type of movie. I wasn't in the right emotional space when I watched this movie, let's be honest. And I don't know that I ever will be again in my life. But I definitely watched a lot of tragedies like this when I was younger. I think it really helped form a lot of the empathy I have as an adult. All the pieces put together, and I'm not like waxing the dude here, is top level. I would put it up there with like Philip Seymour Hoffman's Love Liza. I would put it up there with Basketball Diaries. Like, I would put it up there with those kind of movies that make you feel something that you don't want to feel, so real that you existed in the situation, and that's hard to do. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. The movie's a fucking 9 out of 10, though. Let's say 8.5 out of 10. Fantastic film. 8.5. Yeah. Fantastic film. Fantastic shots. Fantastic sound. Crazy story. Just absolute bonkers. I didn't stop being on and in this movie until it stopped. It was like putting myself into a roller coaster and launching myself at a wall, and it just, it's coming, and just the build and the anxiety, and they just never let off the whole movie. I truly was upset. I was truly upset by this movie in a very visceral and emotional way. I assume that's the point.
That feels pretty fair. Okay. I'll go through my rubric here. Story, 4. Acting, 4. Cinematography, 4. Editing, pacing, 3. Sound music, 4. And I will say, I had editing and pacing at a 2. I think what we talked about here gave me some insight. And that will give it a 7.5.
Yeah. So our median is an 8.
Yeah, don't
Feels fucking healthy. Like it's the ballpark.
right, and don't watch it when you're looking to have fun with people. Don't do that. Definitely
Also,
don't do
don't watch it if you're feeling depressed or suicidal.
that. Yeah, don't do that either.
Call somebody and hang out with your friends and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
This movie does a very good job of what it's intending to do, but sometimes you don't want your ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Also, on the rewatchable scale, very low. Very low.
Yeah, it's right there. What was the name of the movie with the guy from Game of Thrones that we watched? And
Night Watch.
yeah, it can go with Night Watch.
Yeah, this one. So, anyways, I think you get the gist of it. Very well made movie. I think for the right people, a movie you'll want to watch, but for the wrong people, the movie you definitely don't want to see. And if you want to know which one you are, reference everything we just said.
Trust me, I put it up there with some of the movies that were some of my most beloved movies when I was younger, and I could stomach this kind of stuff. That is high praise from somebody like me, because I would not choose to watch this movie unless we were doing this and it came across my table. And you can't deny something that's beautiful, no matter how tragic it is. When you watch as much film as I have or we have, like, you can't deny when you're looking at something that is very good. It's very, very good.
You can hate something and still appreciate
a technical film. Yeah, right. You can appreciate a fucking mushroom cloud too. It's amazing. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. The devastation that comes along with it, not so much, but the actual.
It is unique that things are able to do that to people, though, to like elicit actual emotion. And once again, I'm saying that, like, I don't like it, but I appreciate the shit out of it. And I do like it for that fact, right? You can't not like something because it's uncomfortable. But boy, did not take it easy on it. That was not an easy movie to watch. Did not take it easy on you.
No, and
not an easy movie to watch, but I couldn't look away.
I tell you what, Adam, you get to choose the next movie that isn't it just based on an interview, and I promise if I see psychological horror on the next one, I might move to the side, because that was a heavy one. Speaking of which, though, our next film is going to be a Halloween Feast from 2024. We will be able to you'll get to listen to us talk to some of the folks who helped make the
Adam movie. Is pumped. This is my kind of movie.
It looks exactly right. Thank you to Diego and to Caye for giving us that amazing interview. We really appreciate it. It elevates everything we do. It's just very nice. Thank you so much.
And great job, Mr. Director. Good job.
Yeah,
good
really.
Job.
Like, no matter if you hear this,
hate you a little bit.
If you make good art and people hate you, I hear that's a thing you should celebrate.
It's one of the best compliments I can give you.
But it's a shoddy name for a fascist bullfighter.